Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome back, friends. Welcome to another video lecture by Kami Biology. Today in this video lecture we are going to talk about the physical barrier of the innate immunity systems in details. Okay, this is the first video lecture, and in this first video lecture I'm going to talk about the overview of the physical barriers. Okay, that what kind of the physical barrier are actually involved inside the innate immune system of our body. So let me write. So first of all, let me explain this physical barriers. Now, what is physical barriers? Physical barriers means the host defense systems. Means we have skin, we have mucus, we have tears come out from the eyes, we have intestine, we have trachea, we have respiratory trachea. So all these are actually what? All these are the physical barriers. They are the physical barrier of actually the innate immune systems. Okay, so first of all, let me draw the human body here and let me label those physical barrier. Let me draw those physical barrier which are actually take a part in the innate immune systems. Okay, so let me draw. Okay, so let's suppose this is actually the human body. Okay, I am really sorry for my beautiful diagram. Now what actually happened? These are the air. Now air is actually mentioned in the physical barrier of innate immunity. Why? Because it contains wax. So let me write, it contains wax. Wax have actually antimicrobial properties, which are actually what? Which are actually antimicrobial peptides or antimicrobial agents. Now then we have nose. So these nose are what? Actually these nose are the mucus. Now this nose contain hair. At the nose hair there are the hair, there are the dendritic cells, mast cells and macrophages, because it is involved in the tissue portion, and we call that mucus. Okay, now next we have this eye. This eye contain from the eye, the tears are sometimes come out, which contain lysozyme and which also act as a physical barrier. So inside the air there are the lysozyme, which are actually the antimicrobial, which have the antimicrobial properties. Now then we have the mouth portion. This mouth portion contains saliva. What they contain? They usually contain saliva. Now inside saliva we have lysozyme, we have lactoferrin, peroxidase. Okay, all these are the chemicals, and all these are acting as a physical barrier of the innate immune systems. They have actually antimicrobial properties. Then we have subcutaneous gland or the fatty acid. Okay, so let's suppose that area where the fatty acid are present, we simply call that subcutaneous tissue, subcutaneous gland. cutaneous gland. Then we have skin portion. Let's suppose this is the skin portion. Okay, intact skin. Now this skin contains sweet glands. What they contain? They usually contain sweet glands. Sweet glands, which are specially responsible to release the sweet from the body. As you are watching, these droplets are actually representing the sweet, and the sweet contain the lysozymes, and it is also acting as an antimicrobial. Now after that, inside the trachea, okay, we have the cilia. So at that specific area there are the cilia. If you remember, what are the cilia? Cilia are actually a small, thin, microscopic hair-like structure that are specially responsible to trap the microorganisms, and from that specific area they can cause the destruction of the microorganisms. Then after that, at that specific area, there are defecation present. Defecation. Now these are actually the hairs which are present above the penis. So above the penis there are the hairs present, and which are acting as a disinfection. Means they can trap the microorganisms, this hair, and can cause the destruction of the microorganisms as well. Okay, after that, at that specific area there are the penis present that are specially responsible to release out the urines. Okay, so at that specific area there are the urine coming out from that specific area. Now this urine has also the properties, or this urine, when they have the pH like when this urine are slightly acidic, then such urine can cause the destruction of the microorganism. Then we have stomach. Okay, so this is stomach. This stomach contain acidic enzyme which we call it hydrochloric acid, and some other acidic enzymes. Okay, so hydrochloric acid. So let me write in short form, we can write HCl's. Okay, now this HCl's have the property to kill the microorganisms. Okay, let's suppose if we take the bread, and let's suppose if we take the meal. So when the meal passes from the esophagus and when they reach to the stomach, so let's suppose inside each meal there are the microorganisms. So inside the stomach release HCl. This HCl can cause the destruction of the microorganisms, as well as they can also cause to digest the food. Now after that we have the intestines. So intestines are also the mucus. So these are the mucus, and this intestine contain different enzymes which we call the intestinal enzyme. Intestinal enzymes. We'll be talking inshallah in some other video lecture. Okay, now due to the presence of each intestinal enzymes, they can also cause the destruction of the microorganisms. With this intestinal enzyme and with this mucus, we have some cells which are present in the large intestine. Usually it is also present in the small intestine, but usually it is present in the large intestine. We usually call that beneath cells. Okay, so these are actually the main part of the physical barrier. These are actually the physical barrier of the innate immune system. Okay, what actually happen when the microorganisms are get internalized? So then each microorganism can face this physical barrier. This skin is acting as a first line of defense system. So let's suppose if there is the microorganism, so first of all the skin can cause the destruction of the microorganism. They cannot allow the microorganisms to internalize. Okay, then we have cilia, we have lysozyme, we have wax, we have subcutaneous. Some of them are the second defense system, some of them are acting as a first line of defense system. Okay, now inside the human body, each physical barrier are always present at a time, but sometimes the physical barrier are become very weak. Sometimes these physical barrier are too much strong. In the baby life, or in the maternal life, or we can say after the delivery, at a month of 6 or 7 months, the baby don't have each, they have the physical barrier, but each physical barrier are not the mature, so the baby are actually at a rest condition. Now after some times, each physical barrier are activated and matures when the microorganisms are get internalized, when the microorganism can cause disease at that specific area, then the physical barrier are get activated and mature. At the young age, each physical barrier are also activated always, every time each physical barrier are activated. So after that, at the age of 45, or we can say at the age of 50 year, or we can say at old age, still the physical barrier are present, but with the passage of time each physical barrier are become weak. So we can say at the baby age the physical barrier are activated, so at young age the physical barrier are become stronger, but at the old age the physical barrier are again weak. Okay, so that's actually the main properties of the physical barriers. Okay, inshallah in the next video lecture we are going to talk about the skin, which are acting as a physical and mechanical barriers. So I hope you understand about the physical barrier of the innate immune system. If you like this video, so make sure to hit the like button, share this video, and if you have any kind of questions, so you can write it into a comment. Inshallah I will give you answer as soon as possible. Okay, thank you so much for watching.